Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your girl, Miss Ish. Now, today I'm going to be making a green chili chicken enchilada casserole. I've already gotten started with my ingredients. You're always welcome to tweak those ingredients. Let's see what I've done so far. So, in my skillet, what I've done was taken 6 or 7 pieces of the chicken tenderloins. I washed them and stuck them inside the skillet with some green onions, bell pepper, chopped up white onion, and garlic. What I did was let them sear on each side whole, and once they were had a little color to them, I placed a little bit of water inside the skillet and until it started to dissolve. Now, if you can notice that most of that water is dissolved and the chicken is pretty much breaking down itself. So the next thing I'm going to show you is I went ahead while the chicken was cooking and I started on my taco shells. So if you notice, they are still the regular shape that you would get them in the store. What I did was took about 3 or 4, just like so, placed them inside one skillet with some cooking oil, and until they became a little soft, I went ahead and flipped them, took them out, and repeated the process about 3 to 4 times. So now the next thing I'm going to do is go back to my meat. I'm going to shred this a little more, and we will be ready to start rolling these, okay? Now, we're going to do them a little different than regular enchiladas. I said roll, but we're not going to roll them. We're going to leave them flat like a casserole. We're going to work smarter, not harder. So, I'm going to let this cook down for about 20 more minutes, and then we'll be right back, and it's going to be time to get these in the oven. So the next step we're going to do, once the meat has already been chopped up the way that I want it to be, I'm going to take a can of cream of chicken and just pour that whole can inside. And I only put the cream of chicken when I'm doing the chicken enchiladas, okay? Now what I'm going to do is get a little bit of the green enchilada sauce that we're going to put on top of the casserole. We're just going to pour a little bit of that inside this mix, okay? The next thing we're going to do is grab the taco seasoning. And with the taco seasoning, you can put as much or as little as you want, okay? With me, I'm just going to use half of it because I seasoned it already a little bit with pepper and Malibu, okay? So now we're just going to get this all mixed in together. And this just makes the inside of the enchiladas just taste like butter. Okay, so now that we have this all mixed in together, this doesn't have to sit and simmer because, like I said, we're going to be putting it in the oven. I have my oven set right now for 350. Depending on your oven and how, how it works, then set it on what you want. But so let me show you guys a little closer what this mix is looking like. Okay, and this mix, if I have any left over, I'll make some tacos with it or some taquitos. So the next thing we're going to do is get these set up in our pan and placed in the oven. So now that I have the meat all prepared, the next step is going to be to get everything placed into the casserole bowl and get it into the oven before dinner time later on, okay? So here's the meat. It's still piping hot. I'm letting it cool a little bit. And here are the main ingredients I'm going to be using. The taco shells, the enchilada sauce, I have green onions cut up. I have some black olives, and then the Mexican style blended cheese. So let's go ahead and get everything set up in the casserole dish. So the first thing that we're going to do is get enough of these just to sit in the casserole. Most likely it'll make maybe about 6. So we're going to just put 3 on each side. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually go in with the meat. We're going to get a little bit of the mixture, and we're just going to start spreading it on the taco shell and kind of just flatten everything out, okay? Now we're going to go ahead just like so, continue to do this to each one. And this will probably make 1 or 2 layers, okay? So we're just going to continue on with the meat. Now the next thing I'm going to do is actually just go ahead with the enchilada sauce. I'm going to put just a little bit more meat. I want the bottom layer to be a little thicker than the top layers. And then we're just going to spread everything out just like so, okay? Now the next thing, I'm just going to take this can of green chili enchilada sauce and I'm just going to start pouring it on the mixing spoon that I've already been using. I don't need to switch spoons. So we're just going to gently just start pouring this on it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go in with the cheese. You can put as much or as little, like I said, as you want. I like mine to be cheesy, so we're going to get a handful and we're just going to gently start going all over. Alright, we're going to take another small handful. And now we're just going to continue the pattern. We're going to take more of the shells, place them on top. Get the rest of the meat, get it spread all over. And that meat is really still hot, so I'm trying my best not to touch it. Even though I would like to put a spoonful in my mouth, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient with this. Okay? So, just like so, we're just going to continue the same process as before. Get all the rest of the meat. Now, this will be enough for about 6 or 7 meals. This will be dinner for tonight and maybe even lunch tomorrow. Unless I don't feel like cooking it, I just save it for dinner. But either way go. There's my oven letting me know that it's ready. I'm going to place this in my bleach water. Okay, now the next step again. We're going to go ahead with the enchilada sauce. Now we're going to take the cheese. We're going to put the rest of this bag in there, okay? Just like so. Now we're going to take the remaining shells. I hope I did enough. Sometimes I do 1 over or like 2 or 3 under. It looked like I did 1 under. That's alright though. Because I'm going to get another shell and get it on there now. So now one more step we're going to do. Once I get this other shell, then I'll show you the last step to get them in the oven. Alright, now that I have that last shell on there, I'm going to go ahead with the rest of this enchilada sauce. And I'm just going to start pouring it all over. I'm just going to make sure that everyone is drenched with enchilada sauce. Alright, and then I'm just going to take this spoon and just start spreading it out. One of the reasons that I like to make the casserole instead of doing individual enchiladas rolled is because, number one, I'm going to work smarter, not harder. Number two, when you're cooking for a big group of people or even just for yourself and your significant other, sometimes when you do the casserole, I mean, to me, it kind of tastes better. I don't know what it is, but I learned it from my cousin years ago. We were getting prepared for my sister's funeral, and there was a lot of people. So instead of making a lot of enchiladas for everybody. I watched her make the casserole, and it's been over 20 years that I've been doing the same thing, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the rest of this cheese. Now this is a fresh bag of cheese. I'm going to place most of the cheese on top. And now the next thing we're going to do, which is going to be the last step, I just want to make sure all this is cheesy. Okay, and I'm going to leave a little bit of cheese for my black beans. So, the next thing I'm going to do is just go with the olives and just start putting them on top. And I'm going to keep some of these for myself because I love olives. Alright, so, and as you notice, as I'm going, I'm cleaning as I go. I like to cook and clean in a clean kitchen, okay? I don't like to cook in a dirty kitchen. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is take the green onions. I'm just going to start putting them all on top, just like so. Get that in the dishwasher, and this is what the casserole is starting to look like. We'll be back in about 30 minutes when it's all done and out the oven. Now that I have the enchiladas in the oven, the next thing I'm going to do is show you guys a small little pot of homemade black beans that I made. I just took a bag of black beans, like pinto beans, soaked them in some water and some baking soda for about 30 minutes. Took them off and rinsed them, placed them in one medium-sized pot, boiled them the same way you'll do regular beans, added a little garlic to them. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of this mixture, which is some mixed salsa. And then I'm going to take a little lime and just squirt that lime juice in there. And then we're just going to let this simmer and sit until the enchiladas are done. So I've just taken the enchilada casserole out of the oven, excuse me. They've been in there for about a good 30-40 minutes. I didn't want my cheese to get dark. I just wanted it to melt. So this is the finished product of the enchilada casserole. I made a small salad on the side instead of making Spanish rice, because I've been eating a lot of rice lately. And here are the homemade black beans. And for my toppings, I have sour cream, I have some salsa, and I also have some guacamole that we bought from the store. Now, I hope that you guys will actually make this at home. See how easy it is to make the casserole versus the rolled enchiladas. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Please share, like, and subscribe, and leave a comment at the bottom. Let me know what you like about the video, what you didn't like, what I can improve with. And until next time, y'all take it easy.